Hi guys, I think I'm live. Um, I'm doing this on YouTube and I'm going to try to share it to Facebook. Let's see if that works. But this should be the info you need for the moon ritual box. Um, Hopefully, when I click off of this page, it keeps it live. Who knows? Um, can you tell this is my first time with this? Yes, it is. We've got an Aquarius full moon, and the energies of this full moon are quite transformative, I think is a good word that I would use. I'm trying to share this to Facebook. And of course, it's saying that I'm not logged into Facebook. So, you know what? I'll just share it after I record it. Nobody needs to watch this live anyway. Let's see. What if I do it this way? Okay. And then I go up here. It's fun to just watch me play around on the internet, isn't it? Um, I'll try to when I share this later, I'll try to post um, where the juicy bits start, so you don't have to watch all this intro stuff. Why is it trying to make me log into Facebook like I am not already logged in? Ooh, y'all, technology is not my friend. As if you can't tell by everything I do with Gypsy Wings that technology and I do not get along. You know who I get along with? I get along really well with trees. Trees are my jam. All right, let's see here. Um, Create a post. That's what I'd like to do. This was really a lot more difficult than I was expecting. All right. I think before I post this, I can edit all this stuff out. So hopefully nobody's joined yet. And the people who watch later, hopefully I can trim all this stuff off. Oh, there we go. All right. So I think there we go. I think we should be live. Who knows? Who knows whether that works or not? All right. I need to close out of this so it doesn't mess anything else up. All right. Well, I've really only wasted about 4 minutes. Okay, so let's jump into it. This moon, it's in Aquarius, and there's lots of neat like astrological things happening. Um, but I think what this moon is trying to really and I said a minute ago, it's got a lot of transformational energy, a lot of creative energy about it. And really, what it's trying to do is to help us reclaim our power, to really step into our power. And there's so many ways the world can try to take our power away from us. We get conditioned to live a certain way in society. One of the things I've really been working on is this idea that you always have to be productive. Um, I think that's something that's like really taught to us, about being productive with your time and time management and all this stuff that says, you have to be doing something. And I don't buy that. I don't think that's a good way to live. Yes, there are times where you need to do stuff. and there are times when you need to be active. Um, but rest is doing something. Rest is taking care of yourself. And I don't think we as a society value that. So that's an example of one of the ways our societal conditioning can take away our power, can strip us of our power. And so I think this full moon is really helping us to try to clear away these patterns that we develop or beliefs, even situations that strip us of our power, where we aren't fully in our personal power. So, I think it is providing space for us to step up and really reclaim the personal power we have to create our life. Um, and I, I guess as an example of this, I watched a video the other day where this guy moved into a cave and he gave up money. And I know this sounds like radical, right? And it's not going to resonate with everybody, but I think what kind of dawned on me when I was watching this is he had everything he needed. He had shelter, he had food, he had a clean water source, um, and he really just removed himself from a bunch of the things in his life that gave him grief. And when you strip things down, you come to realize we already have a lot of what we need. A lot of things we get stressed out about or worried about are extra. We don't really need them. So, um, I'm not saying go live in a cave, but I think there's an important lesson there. I also did some of my own kind of soul searching last night. I took a little webinar on loneliness and the spiritual lessons of loneliness. And I think what was really interesting from that workshop was this idea that like once we empty out, once we clear ourselves and really get to the void, we figure out who we are and we can connect with the essence of who we are. And it can feel overwhelming. The example that um, the person leading that was Matt Kahn, and his example was like being in a big pool. And sometimes when you're in a huge body of water, it can be overwhelming, but once you realize you can just float, you're good. So there's this really happy space, I think, in life when we can clear out all the clutter, all the stuff that's been put on us, all the layers that have accumulated. And we can really get down to our essence, our good, like connection with all that is, right? The oneness. Um, and I know anybody who watches a lot of what I talk about like there's this love that we come from and return to. And that love's a part of us. And it's a part of all of us, not just me, but everybody watching this and everybody not watching this and anybody you interact with. They're a part of it too. And so when we strip away all these layers, you know, it's not about killing your ego. Your ego is what makes you you, but it's about putting your ego in its place. I am not just my ego. I have this love running through me, as do you. And when we connect with that instead of primarily the ego, I think we live a more heart centered life. Um, and so, not only is this moon giving us a personal opportunity to do some self-work and to clear away some layers, but it's also shining a really bright light on, you know, this transition that we're facing in our world. Are we going to keep on living in a way where we're destroying the earth, where we're not taking care of the gifts we've been given? Or are we going to come into a heart centered awareness, live from our hearts, learn to live in a very vulnerable way, um, where we take care of each other and take care of the earth. Um, so I see this period of time that we're in, this full moon especially, is the very, transitional time between what the past and the future. Like all that ever really is now, right? But if you think about that, that means we're constantly living in this, like, liminal state, um, this in between, right? This is where we've been, this is where we're going, and in that in between is where we decide, "How good is this gonna be? How good is this gonna be?" And so I think we can put some intention out there to really step into a more heart-centered and connected way of living. Um, and that requires a bunch of personal work on our part as individuals, but it also involves stepping up and serving um, your community, your group, your tribe. Like, how can you show up? And you see a lot of stuff out there about your purpose. And people struggle like, what's my purpose? What's my life's purpose? Um, it's really easy. Your life's purpose is to be you, to be the best you. And that changes. It's not static, it's not one thing. We have different seasons in our life. And so I think this full moon is a really good opportunity to say, what's the best version of me that can exist? And how am I holding myself back? How am I being my own worst enemy? Um, you know, we're really good at keeping ourselves from shining our light. We don't want to seem like we're too much. We don't want to, show off or be um, a showboat or arrogant or seem like we're bragging or anything like that. Um, but when you do that, you're denying the divinity within you because you are magnificent. You are the innate being within you, that love that resides within you and gives you life. There's no putting that in the corner, not to steal the line from, Dirty Dancing, but, like, seriously, let that shine. That's your purpose, to be that, to align with it, to realize it, to bring it into your life, and to let it shine into the world. Like, it's not, my purpose is to solve world hunger or something like that. I mean, if that's it, great, good for you. But like sometimes it's so much more simple. Just be. Just be yourself. Be your true, authentic, vibrant, magnificent self and let that shine out into the world. And that, I think that's our purpose. Find joy and love it and live it and let it express through you. So, in saying all that little spiel, um, I have put together a little kit this month that will be like an anointing oil. So it'd be great to use after a ritual bath. But really, anytime after this moon, and I think you can charge it under this moon to really get some great, juicy goodness into it. But anytime when you find yourself holding yourself back or letting situations or circumstances rip you of your power, anytime you feel disempowered, I want you to turn to this oil because there's lots of good stuff in here um, to help you kind of realize that divinity within yourself. So the first thing, there's this little jar of oil. So this is kinda gonna be the base for your anointing oil, okay? And, I think so what I didn't include that what might be helpful is if you have a container, right? So, because I've already got the oil in the jar for you, if you have a separate empty container, it's gonna be easier to kinda mix this all up, right? So, before you start your ritual, you're probably gonna wanna, like, smudge and cleanse and do all that stuff for your space. You're gonna wanna get yourself in a good, like, state of mind where you're less stressed and kind of relaxed. Um, so if you wanna use some sage and cleanse yourself, cleanse your space, you can also cleanse everything in the packet that comes in the packet. Um, and then I think it's probably best to start with, like, the, dried flower petals, um, and the calendula and the chamomile. Calendula is kind of known as the sunshine flower, which I think is pretty perfect, sunshine herb. sunflower, I guess it's a flower. But I think it's pretty perfect since we're moving into Leo season. The sun is in Leo. Like I said, the moon is in Aquarius, but Leo is just like childlike joy, exuberance. I love Leo. Um, they have lots of energy. It's a fire sign. I like fire signs because I'm an Aries. But um, I think harnessing that sunshine, harnessing that joy into your body is always a good thing, right? So we've got some of that. The chamomile is to kind of help soothe and calm you as well because you don't want to be all fire all the time. Everything in life is about balance. um, Calendula is also anti-inflammatory, so it's good for kind of soothing some of that, fire instinct as well. So you can put that, sprinkle that down in your mug or your bowl, whatever you want to use. And then your flower petals. I just like flower petals, so I've included them to kind of make it pretty. Also, it's relaxing. Having an oil full of flower petals, it's relaxing. Okay, peridot. Um, I've provided some crystal chips for you as well to put in this anointing oil. So this the green little chips you see are peridot. I think I'm saying that right. Who knows? Um, but it helps to balance your emotions and your mind. So, if you have a racing mind or if you have really heightened emotions, full moons are kind of known for having heightened emotions. So, this will help balance all of that. Peridot, the green stone in here, is also known as the stone of compassion. You can never have too much compassion for yourself. We give it away to other people all the time. Give it to yourself too. Remember to treat yourself as good as you're willing to treat other people. Um, and treat them right too. But, yeah, so that's the stone of compassion. It also can inspire creativity, um, and it brings delight and good cheer. So, good stuff, right? The white, stone in here, it's got some little flecks of black, which I think are probably tourmaline. But the white chips in the bag, that's moonstone. Hopefully my camera is picking that up. Moonstone is good at it soothes emotional instability and stress, which I think we all know full moons can just wire us up, right? I've had a couple of nights where I just couldn't sleep, like, and I try to use that time to like meditate and connect with that energy that is the good love energy. But I find around new moons, I'm just wired. I have excessive amounts of energy and some emotional flare-ups. So this can help kind of balance that out. Moonstone is also a stone for new beginnings, which, like I've discussed, we're kind of in this transition period between, this old earth that's focused on duality and separation, the good versus bad, black and white kind of mentality. We're moving to a heart centered type of space, type of consciousness. And that is more uh, of a loving, forgiving gray area. And so we're in between kind of this duality, separation consciousness, and really living in this new earth that's full of this heart centered consciousness. So, I think when we talk about new beginnings, we're trying to anchor a new beginning, a new way of living. And so the moonstone can help with that, but it also provides calmness. It'll enhance your intuition, and it can promote inspiration. So it's more of that creativity juice. Yeah. So once you've put your herbs in there, you can sprinkle in these crystal chips. All right. What's up next? Myrrh. I just love myrrh. It's good. Myrrh reminds me of, like, the connection to the divine. It might not be that for everybody. It's also a good, like, pain reliever. So, once you get this oil done, you can use it for that too. Um, but it's just one of those kind of goddess type, um, I think it's a resin. I don't know if I called it an herb a minute ago, but that's why I've included it. I like it. It's, high vibrational, good for this oil. All right, what's up next? Pink Himalayan salt. Um, yes, you can eat this. It's like an edible crystal. And pink Himalayan salt is very similar. in its like metaphysical properties to rose quartz. So, it can help with self-love and self-compassion, and it also helps kind of find your sense of purpose. That's kind of one of its metaphysical properties. It can help with taking action and setting boundaries, learning to say no. So, like we talked about with, um, really reclaiming our power and reclaiming, our right to create our lives. Nobody else is going to tell me how my life is going to go but me. That's my choice. How I live my life is 100% my choice. That um, kind of boundary setting and allowing yourself to take time for personal enjoyment, relaxation, rejuvenation. Um, Pink Himalayan salt can help with all of that. So that's why it's in there. All right. Hopefully, I'm not forgetting anything. The last bit of goodness we're going to put in our bowl or mug is citrine. And this is raw citrine. Um, There should be 3 pieces in your box, and they're not small pieces. They're nice good chunks of citrine. Citrine's good for your solar plexus chakra. It is, like we talked about the calendula being the sunshine herb, um, citrine is the sunshine stone. It is all about joy and, light and, finding your good self-expression. Your solar plexus is your energetic kind of seat of your ego and identity. So, it's learning to bring that into your life in a meaningful way, right? Not the shadow way, not the all ego all the time way, but in the balanced way where your ego is serving your heart. Um, so citrine is great for Leo season, which we're in. And by the way, Leo season runs from July 22nd to August 22nd. And we've got, uh, I know I've mentioned some of this on social media, but we've got a big Lionsgate. You can Google that and read more about it on um, August 8th. So we've got lots of good, like Lion, Leo, sunshine energy available to us right now. So the citrine is going to help us with that. So for your ritual, before you drop your citrine into um, your mug, what you might want to do is, think of 3 ways that you want to reclaim your power. If you're feeling like, I don't, I think the most common thing is kind of work life balance and the whole rat race situation. If you feel like that's disempowering you, maybe you're going to set some more like healthier boundaries around work. And like that could be one thing you intend with one of the stones. If you've got one of the things, I'll just be really personal here. One of the things I've been working on is learning that resting is important. I don't always have to be going and doing. So maybe for me, one of the stones I'd set with the intention that like it's absolutely fine to take time for personal enjoyment. Um, so that you're acting from a place of alignment and joy and bliss and not obligation. Yeah, that's it. That's one of the things I've been working on. So I don't know. Take a moment, hold these if you want, you can hold these to your heart. And then put when you're gonna set the intention, take the stone and put it in your dominant hand and really just kind of imagine that that intention is being infused into that stone. All right. So then you can drop those stones down into your mug or cup. And what do I do with the oil? After you get here it is. Um, After you get everything in here, you can pour the oil on top of it. And if you want to, you can kind of stir it up. I'm also going to do a little meditation. And I think if you want to kind of have a little altar space, maybe if you've got some clear quartz laying around your house, you could lay that out in a grid around your mug or bowl, whatever it is that you're using. And during the meditation, you can kind of charge, you can set the intention that this um, oil, this anointing oil, is going to be charged with the light of this full moon to assist you in truly embodying your full personal power. Um, so, this is a good point. We're at 25 minutes already. Wow, I've been talking way too long. But I'll try to take note of that so I can post that with the link to this video. So if you just want to tune in on the meditation, this is probably the point at which we're going to start that. So, alter space with your oil. If you want to, after you've put everything in here and put the oil in and mixed it all up, you can put it back in this little jar to keep it. And you could actually use this jar to charge it instead of using your mug or bowl. Up to you, personal preference. I don't think it's going to matter either way. But I think this is a cute little vessel. So you can pour it all back in there. All right. So let's get ourselves ready for a period of meditation. I'll try not to make this too long. But I think with a full moon, I always enjoy trying to reach a meditative state because it helps balance that wild energy that's running around. So find yourself a comfortable position, and I'll bring us into it with a little bit of the grounding bowl. You want to take a deep breath. Take another deep breath in and exhale. Another deep breath in and exhale. And allow your mind to just quiet and calm down. Give yourself that big body of water. So often we think of emptiness as lack, emptiness as failure, emptiness as it has all these negative connotations. But emptiness also allows us to relax and recharge, reconnect. It allows us to realize that innate part of us that is always in this blissful state, supporting us. When you don't give your active mind time to calm down, it's easy to forget that part of you, that higher part of you. And take a little time to kind of make some adjustments and get comfortable. Find a position where you can sit quietly and still. Just know that any little wiggle or adjustment at this point is just going to allow you to slip deeper within that peaceful state, that serene, peaceful state inside of you. I want you to imagine yourself walking down a flight of stairs and see your left foot descend down on the stair in front of you. Feel your body get a little bit heavier. See your right foot take the next step. Notice that your breath is calming down, slower, rhythmic pattern. Watch in your mind's eye your feet just descend this flight of stairs in a smooth, calming fashion. not in a rush, taking your time and enjoying this walk. And as you see yourself in your mind's eye descend down this flight of stairs, I want you to notice at the bottom of the stairs a doorway. And I want you to understand that this door is a door to a passageway, a place of transformation, a place that's going to support you in becoming your highest self, your best version of you. Reach out and open the doorknob to that door. When you open that door, I want you to see a hallway, a sterile, white, beautiful, blank hallway. The walls are white. There's doors along either side, and they're all white. The floor is a beautiful white marble. It's clean, it's pristine. And as you step into this hallway, I want you to realize this is a journey your soul is taking. You're being supported by the universe, by all the love that exists and supports the universe. As you walk into this hallway, you come close to the first door. I want you to reach out and open that door. And inside this door, I want you to see, just let your mind's going to come up with the right thing for you. Let your mind wander to a situation where you've been disempowered, where you've given your power away. And as you look back on this scene in your life, I want you to send that version of yourself the ultimate amount of love and compassion, forgiveness. If you want to say it out loud or just think it, I want you to say to yourself, I am powerful. And close the door. Step back out of the room and back into the white hallway. And realize that in doing that, you're leaving that version of yourself behind. Continue walking down this white, beautiful, almost sterile environment. And on your right now, we're going to walk to the next doorway. We're going to open that door. When you look inside, I want you to see another scene from your life. Some time or place where you've been, where you've allowed others to decide who you are. Where you've let somebody put a label on you or an identity on you. And again, as you look back on that scene in your life, I want you to send that version of yourself the ultimate amount of compassion, love, and forgiveness. And realize the you watching this scene is not the present you. You in that scene as a former you may have needed the lessons that happened in that scene to get to the ultimate understanding of your innate power, of the innate being that resides within you, of the divinity that resides within you. So, again, send that old version of you love, compassion, forgiveness. Step out of the doorway back into the hallway and close the door. And say to yourself, I am powerful. Continue walking now on down the hallway. Come to the next door on the left. And open that door and allow another scene to come into your mind, into your memory. Some situation or circumstance where you've been disempowered. Maybe it's never having enough time, always feeling rushed, having obligations placed upon you. Whatever comes to mind is the right soul lesson for you. Take a minute to witness that scene, that memory. Acknowledge that lesson. So many ways where we can just give our power away. And again, as you look upon that scene or remember that memory, I want you to send that version of yourself highest compassion, understanding, love, and forgiveness. And I want you to step back into the white, serene hallway. Shut the door to that memory. And again, say to yourself, I am powerful. As you continue walking down this beautiful white hallway, clean and light, I want you to realize that there's this beautiful water feature at the end of the hallway, coming closer and closer to it. The water, sound of the water falling just calms your nerves, allows you to slip a little bit deeper within. Understanding your own personal power, I want you to tell yourself, I create my life. I decide how I spend my time. I determine my values. I set my boundaries. In this empowered state of being, I give from a limitless source of energy, not from a place of obligation. As you make your way further down that hallway, the water pouring from the ceiling to the floor is just so inviting. And you realize there's a door behind. And I want you to walk through that water feature. As you walk through, any remnants of a life where you lived less than your full and true self are washed away. As you step through that water, it washes from the crown of your head to the tips of your toe. And just like the bright beams from that full moon, that water washes over you and releases anything no longer serving your highest good. As you step through the water and reach the door on the other side, you reach out and open that door and enter a room with a tall, beautiful, full length mirror. And I want you to see yourself in that mirror. Not the flaws, not the things that our silly ego mind can get stuck on, but the true radiance that resides within you. I want you to see your energetic body lit up so that your whole self glows from the inside out. A beautiful, brilliant white light emanating from your entire body. That part of us that knows bliss and joy, childlike exuberance, power. And I want you to see yourself in that your reflection in that beautiful radiant state in the mirror in front of you. And I want you to say to yourself, either out loud or to yourself in your mind, I am magnificent. I am magnificent. The light which glows inside of you and radiates is the light which lights up the world. It is that love that we come from and return to. And it is beautiful and divine and eternal. And it is within you. One more time, take a look in that mirror, understanding that innate part of your being. I want you to look yourself in the eyes and say, I am magnificent. I want to give you a little bit of time just to dwell in that space of really loving yourself, embodying your full power, connecting with your divinity. Now I'm going to ask you to return your awareness to your physical body, to come back into here and now, and to allow that light to return with you, to live inside of you, not dormant, but active. Allow it to infiltrate every part of your being. Allow that light to infuse into that anointing oil. And if I were you, I'd leave this oil under the light of the full moon tonight. And every time you slip out of living from that place of embodied radiance, I want you to use this oil, dab a little on your third eye, dab a little on your heart, maybe put some on your pulse points, wherever you need it. If you want to take a ritual bath and then put it on head to toe, there's no wrong way. Follow your intuition. But anytime you slip out of your power, I want you to use this oil to remind you of it, to remind you to embody it. And when you step out into the world, you can see it in others. Even when they're not acting like you want them to act, you can still remember and remind yourself there is a divinity that lives within that person. And it allows you to give compassion and empathy to anyone and yourself. Most importantly, yourself. So I hope you enjoy this month's moon ritual and meditation. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I hope you all have a blessed moon. Namaste. Much love.